welcome to the 1989 UPA National Championships. My name is Steve Hook, this is Scott Gerst, and this is Andy Barnstein.
Pulling off, pretty good pull, driving South Bay back to their goal line. They play it. They're attacking the pull, right up the field. Thad Nodine throws to Rick Geyer, throws long, wide open. Brad goes for the goal, 6'4", just like that. Thad Nodine, yes, here it is. He's wide open. Has a disc in the middle of the field. Kerry Carter looks, fakes, wide open Masher. Good effort by Billy Rodriguez, diving chance, just missed. Masher hits Noel Kaufman. Andy Shimano, foot block, tries some foot blocking. Looks right again. Nice grab by Masher with Rodriguez all over him. Rodriguez, hands up. Masher with the pivot, looks left, has Coraline open, hammer, beautiful, wide open for the goal. Dave Hill, 7-5 Tsunami. The last half of Ultimate 1989 begins. Masher, South Bay, moving left to right with the pull. Right corner, grab. Put into play by Mike Nevins, over to Pat King. Pat fakes right, throws right, has Nevins. Nevins, finger flick upfield to Blau. Blau, looking deep, has no one. Is Dennis Worson underneath. Dennis tucks it, long, Dobbins is wide open, oh, deep, and it's a goal, New York, 11-9. It's in play, Skip Kuhn, marking him closely. Defense is tough. Oh, a near block by Paul Shields. Thrown upfield, Bert Sick will not be able to get that, but a great diving grab near the goal line by Rick Geyer. Outlets it over to Kerry Carter. Throws for the goal to Rick Geyer. Now that was a great point. Here's Kareem Basta, looking for Dave Blau, has him wide open. Is he in bounds? Yes, he was upended, but he's in bounds. Marty Stasek on him, straight up D, not allowing him down the line. He does throw anyway to Dobbins, wide open. Geyer, long throw by Dobbins to Pat King. Will he stay in? Throws it back in. Unbelievable play. Kareem Basta scores. Oh my God, an unbelievable play. On the pull is Mike Yonda with Noel Kaufman right on his tail on the D. Dave over to Dave Blau, to Pat King to the right side. New York swinging the disc. Throwing long, going to Dobbins. Marty Sazak is step for step with Dobbins. Dobbins timing it, goes up and he gets it. A terrific grab. South Bay needs 3 seconds of D. They're looking for Skippy, and he's got it. Great try by Marty Sazak. Great grab by Skip Kuhn. Skip pivots, looks right, has someone. It's Kenny. Kenny on the right side, guarded by Rick Geyer. Flip throw to Pat. Pat King with the disc. Looks left. Throws, has Dobbins with Geyer all over him. All the way open to King. Pat's open. He looks left. Has Mike Nevins for the goal. And it's over. New York wins.
Well, that closes what turned out to be a fairly long day, but some great Ultimate. We saw some things I've never seen before. And I want to thank Scott and Andy for doing a great job of commentating, and we look forward to seeing them again.
Yeah, thanks. That was just a great game, and again, it shows why the sport is called Ultimate.
Once again, New York coming from behind in a great match, one of the best games in the last 5 years, beating South Bay Tsunami 21-19.
And we keep trading downwind goals. Davis is going to win on the pull. UCSB must score upwind. Davis with the disc, dump and swing. Excellent work. The deep puck, complete for the goal. Excellent work. 4 passes for the score. Davis up 11-10.
That UCSB lost the toss.
Oh, and another excellent play by the middle of the UCSB zone.
I saw one.
Yeah! Grab, excellent grab. UCSB with their best chance yet. Overhead, and they score the upwinder. Taking the lead. Davis with the disc. Oh, incomplete. SB with a chance here. Disc on the goal line. Downwind for the game. Can they do it? There's the dump. And punch through for the victory. UCSB women's team has taken the national championship. The entire squad is out to celebrate along with the UCSB men's team.
Jimbo O'Donnell with the big pull. Chabot has their strong offense in. Let's see what happens on this big point. The disc is up, it's deep, it's high. Nice pull, KK on it. National Collegiate Championship. Zeke with the disc, KK with the disc, up to Mort with the disc. See what he can do with it. Looks like he wants inside. He's gonna swing it around. Looks like KK's open on the nice round. He throws it deep. There it is, all alone. Jared. Winning catch. Beautiful catch. Chabot takes it.
Pulled by Kelly Green. Picked up by Amy. Throws a nice backhand to Julia. Nobody breaking for her. Throws a sidearm up to Amy. Nice catch by Amy. Nice. No real breaks here. Throws a nice sidearm to Heather. Walked up by Liz Marino. Heather throws a sidearm down the line to Amy. Nice diving catch by Amy. Nice catch. 16-9 now, Condors. Animation playing very well in the second half. Unfortunately, they got off to a very bad start in the first half. 1 point to clinch their second straight national championship. Got Julia with the pull for Animation. Goes to about half field where it's going to be picked up by Kelly Green. Kelly trapped on the sideline by Julia. Has Liz Marino breaking up the line, doesn't pass it to her. Now she does. Liz has it for the Condors. Liz throws a sidearm to Joni. Joni with a backhand to Ann Cohan. Up to Kathy Lamro. Nice flow here. Kathy up to Kelly Green. Kelly's in for the score. 1985 National Championship. Women's champion, Santa Barbara Condors. Just to die. And Pat King with the pull here. They got to stop him here. Fielded by Tony Z. Passes to the middle of Danny Weiss. Throws a nice hammer to Jim Daddy. Dumps it to Danny Weiss. Crossfield, oh, it's blocked, but it goes right to Tony Z. Blocked by Kenny Dobbins, right in the hands of Tony Z. In the middle of Danny Weiss. Swings to Jim Daddy. Back over to Danny Weiss. Up the line is Tony Z. Nice break by Tony Z. Through the middle. Oh, horrible pass. Intercepted by Gordon Christmas. They got to take their time here and get this goal. Nice pass. Catch by Kenny Dobbins. Up the line to Eric. They're about 10 yards out. It's got Pat King with a nice diving catch for the score. 2019. Great catch by Pat King. Inside pass to Mike McQuillan. Circus can end it right here. Crossfield of Peter Martin. Dumps it to Danny Weiss. Helps it up. Oh, nice try. Caught by Steve Korlanger. It looks like an injury timeout. Kenny Dobbins in now. He'll be marking Alan Siegel. Kenny hands Alan the disc. It's in play. Dumps it to Danny Weiss. Circus trying to work it in for the winning score here. Foul call by Danny Weiss on Eric Cochran's mark. Okay, disc is in play. Pass up the line to Mike McQuillan. He's got Danny Weiss for the dump, but Danny falls down. He's got Tony Z now. Mike McQuillan's open for the backhand. He's got it. Over to Ronar. Ronar scores the winning goal for Circus. 21-19, a great game for the men's championship final. Flying Circus's first national championships ever. Danny Wise, PM, Jersey Joe, Tony Z, all those boys have been playing for a long time, and we're waiting a long time for this moment.
Kind of work around, swings into the middle. Upfield swing to the near sideline. Back in the middle, crossfield. Intense play here so far. Nice low bender. Upfield along the sideline. Windy's working. In the middle, swing side, far sideline. Upfield, it's put up in the end zone. Windy comes down with it. Against a big guy, too. We're rolling. Windy getting some psych up. They're up by 1, I think.
Stino with the pull. A nice long pull. It's turning into a slightly up and down wind game with the wind blowing down towards the Rudy end of the field at this point. So Windy's put a zone on them. Let's see how they pick apart the zone here.
Hammer.
Nice overhead. Nice.
Wow,
and Guido comes up with a great grab. Chucks it to Joey. Gives it back to Moons. Moons has a nice long shot to Stick, who is open but is not in the end zone, who has a nice pass to Jojo Rotako for the goal. Boy, that was a clean goal. And there's a big huck. Now, wow. A lot of people would consider that sort of thing a risky play, just like that one. But these guys seem to come up with it all the time. It's not risky for these guys. Look at that. Look at that goal. You just can't beat that. 14-10. Mike Glass with the pull. A little low. They can get a lot of yardage before the defense can come down and set up. There it is, about 20 yards. Stick with a dump to the Huckmaster, who's looking for Moons. He says Moons is taller than Glass. Moons will get it, and Moons comes up with it. They're famous for that. These guys love to huck it long. They've got the height to catch it. Backhand was shut off by Guido. Michael Dowd with a tremendous grab. You gotta admit, it's a talented group of people. An easy flick. Nick O'Donohue says, I'm not gonna let you throw, but then he throws. Gets it back again. Joey. This is very close to end of game here. Oh boy, these guys are good. That's game. 17-13, quite a game. Well, you saw a lot of spectacular dives, a lot of spectacular throws and catches. Ultimate's an incredible game.
Hello and welcome to Atlanta, Georgia. We're here at the 1980 National Ultimate Championships. We brought together 5 teams from across the country, coming from an extremely large tournament field of over 300 teams, eliminating down to these top 5 teams contending for the national championships. I'm Dan Roddick and this is Buzz Laughlin, and we'll be commentating today on this championship. Buzz, why don't you tell us about the teams we'll be seeing?
Well, today we see 2 East Coast teams playing against each other. We have the Boston Aerodisc team from the Boston. It's a club team from Boston. They are a team about 4 years old now, come together with a lot of former intercollegiate players. A fine team who's really come together this year to upset the Cornell team in the Eastern playoffs, and are facing another Eastern team today, the Glassboro State College team, former 1979 world champions, and a spirited team that we should see a lot of good play today.
As you can see, the teams are out and warming up now. The Glassboro team in the dark jerseys up here to the western end of the field. It may not look like a conventional warm-up from a typical soccer or football program. It's not a typical sport. You see, there's an awful lot of spirit out there from the 2 teams. Glassboro has developed a reputation It's having a lot of traditions. They brought a busload of over 50 players and students down here from Glassboro. Aerodisc has a little smaller squad, but they've attracted a lot of supporters. I think we'll see equal level of spirit. It's really important in this game because it's so demanding over a long period of time to put out the energy, that developing that kind of frenzied level of enthusiasm really seems to work in a team's favor, to go out and run crazy, if you will, knock down the disc, get off the field, and try to stay high to keep through the whole afternoon.
Unquestionably, Dan, it seems that this sport, more than many team sports, requires that level of team psych and excitement to keep that going, especially on the defensive end of things.
It does look a bit different after you get used to the pro shuffle and seeing professional level sports out there treating it as just a job. Well, it's more than that here.
That's Ed Dissesway as the captain of Boston. And that's out there also in the middle of the field is Tom Kennedy, the director of the Ultimate Players Association, the sponsors for this tournament, walking off the field now.
Also out there, the co-captains from the Glassboro team.
Okay, we're about to see the opening throw off here. From Boston, we'll be throwing off to the Glassboro team, receiving on your left. Jim Herrick with the pull.
It has to stay on the field, the first catch, and Borough moving their offense. You'll note that they'll begin initially with short testing passes, checking out the nature of the Boston defense. They cannot run with the disc. The guarding situation is essentially like basketball. This will come back. The thrower is in a pivoting limitation with the defender not able to touch him.
You see he's allowed 3 momentum steps before he plants that pivot foot. And then it is, as Dan mentioned, very similar to the basketball pivot. You see a lot of nice crisp passes here by Glassboro. Notice the fake with the sidearm.
They're just on the edge of the goal line. They had to retreat. A long pass up over top for the first goal.
First goal by Glassboro. Nice defensive play by Boston, but couldn't hold on.
There's Jim Herrick of Boston with a turnaround. A nice pull, hanging in the air, giving the team time to come down on defense.
You know, that's what you're looking for, to land it in the back corner of the end zone.
The running of the Glassboro player there is simply to bring the disc to the goal line. When it's caught in the end zone, they can run with it. It's the only part in the game where you may run with the disc. A nice throw to Timba, the team captain, catching the goal, stretching it to 7-3. Another pull from Boston. You notice that turnaround delivery that is used by the Boston team and Herrick on their pulls. That's a rather new development in the field events, the turnaround delivery in distance throwing, and it's, hey, there's the turnover.
Defensive play by Hunter McKay there. With the score of 7-5, Boston seems to be picking up some intensity here. Phil Adams with Guido doing a nice job staying in the middle.
Borough gets a tremendous amount of hustle out of its front men. It's a very hard job. They're always following the disc. Right now, though, I think they have him scrambling. I think that Boston is controlling the situation, and they get a goal for it.
That's a goal by Steve Vaccaro. Nice goal by Boston. Again, very deliberate. Moving it up to 7-6 here. Boston is making a comeback.
All right, we're at the National Ultimate Championships in halftime. Briefly, we're with Irv Kalb. you could perhaps describe the origination of the game and then what its appeal is as a sport.
Okay, the game came from Columbia High School, where totally as a joke one day there was a student council meeting and there was no new business. And one student just got up and said, I move that the student council look into starting a Frisbee team at Columbia High School. And it was really a joke. But since the student council had nothing to do, they approved it. And then people from the student council went out and they just started throwing a Frisbee around and they tried to make a game out of it. And they took touch football and changed a couple of the rules, no running with the disc and no downs, and they came up with Ultimate Frisbee. And that's the origination of the game.
It really seems to be a combination, as you said, of 3 or 4 different sports.
The combinations that most people see in here are elements of soccer, football, and basketball. You have the receiving of football, just like receivers going down in patterns. You have the quarterbacking role. You have the basketball motion of throwing and catching, the garter on the thrower. And you get the field motion of soccer. You get the feeling of moving it down the field of soccer, but the continuous action mostly of soccer.
Let's talk how big has Ultimate Frisbee become in the United States on an organized level?
Well, Ultimate Frisbee started out in around 1968 to 1970, where there was one team in New Jersey. And in the past 10 years, the sport has expanded tremendously. There's an official organization now called the Ultimate Players Association, which now has over 400 registered teams. That's throughout the country. There are teams around the world, Australia, Belgium, Sweden, Japan. It's very big in all these foreign countries. It's also played on an intramural basis at a lot of college campuses, a lot of pickup games, but the game is really spreading. We're just scratching the surface with it.
What is the appeal for spectators and what's the appeal for players?
The appeal for players is just a fun game to play. People just get out there and run around, just have a great time, throwing Frisbees, jumping, diving. You can see the people out here just really having a fun time. From the spectator's point of view, you can watch this game from many different levels. You can just watch it and watch the grace with which the people move, just the ability to throw a pinpoint pass at 55 yards. It's really a very interesting sport to watch. You can watch it from the ground level and from the level from above. It's really very different. One of the styles that we're seeing here, there are 2 different styles that we're watching here. On the field, we have the Boston team playing a man-to-man defense and the Glassboro team playing a zone defense. And they're very different styles of play. When you watch it back and forth, the Boston team seems to be moving just little bits and pieces, just going in and out, little throws where they can get it. The Glassboro style is much more wide open. That's because of the defense the 2 teams are playing.
It seems that the kind of players that are attracted to it and the people around it, it's just part of what you would say a movement against, not a movement against traditional sports, but the big sports programs, the multi-million-dollar football programs at some big universities. This is a game almost anybody can play on any level.
One of the big appeals of this game is the low-cost nature of the game. If you look at the field itself, the only things you need to set up this game are field markers and 1 Frisbee. And that's the only thing you need. You don't need any padding, any special helmets, any special equipment. It's a very low-cost sport, and that's a very big appeal of it. There's also another big difference in this sport. It's the thing which we call spirit of the game, which is the thing where people are playing on a very friendly basis. People call their own fouls. There are no referees in this game. There are observers, but they're only there in case there's a disputed call and a line call. But there are no referees. The game has an understanding that the people are not going to attempt to hurt each other, that they're playing within the spirit of the game, and people know each other. They don't want to hurt each other. If you see a potential area of injury, you're supposed to avoid it. That's built into the game.
So more or less this is the equivalent of the Super Bowl in Ultimate Frisbee.
This is the Super Bowl of Ultimate Frisbee. This is the best Ultimate you're ever going to see for right now. This is state of the art.
What about the future of the sport on a personal level as well as on a professional level or a commercial level?
This sport can be very big. This sport has the potential from the spectator appeal and the player appeal to be on the order of basketball, football, soccer. It can go there for sure. No question about it.
Okay, you heard it here. It started Columbia High School in New Jersey. Thanks very much, Eric.
Okay, thank you.
5:20 to play. It's come to this at the end of the whole season. Elimination tournament. Many teams involved. It's down to this short period of time. Be interesting to see if the Borough can hold up. I think they're using many fewer players, ironically, than Boston is, even though they have a huge squad.
That's right. They're down to their key players here, and the defensive pressure on Boston is intense here. They're keeping the pressure on. Tied up at 10-all. Boston's had a very high completion rate in this half. 108 throws with only 6 turnovers. A long strike by Glassboro. It's complete. A nice catch, a nice reception there.
What a second effort. 11-11. Relatively low scoring contest.
Yeah, it's been a defensive battle.
The winning team here is going to join a list of national level champions. Started in the early 70s, first with Eastern collegiate teams, and for the last few years being national. Game was only invented in 1970 by Columbia High School students in New Jersey. It spread this rapidly in that short period of time.
Glassboro's controlling, and a long one. They've got it. It's 12-11 Glassboro. 1 minute left.
Little fake, drawing the middleman across, opening the center. Penetration. Nice catch. Down the sideline.
It's controlled by Boston. They're eating up the clock.
This is the key possession of the day. No question about it. We're at 35 seconds. They keep possession. They could stop them down right here. Time is going.
It sure is. That zone is.
They've got a timeout. They've got a timeout.
That's the last timeout for Boston.
Time left. How much? 2 seconds in the game.
And that's it.
2 seconds to play. Comes down to this one throw. Look for Herrick. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
A drop in the end zone. That was a tough one. Glassboro takes it.
The disc was there. What a tremendous disappointment for Boston. That disc was caught.
Teams, all the regional teams, we were worried about the team from the West. We were worried about this Boston team because we played them before, but you could see this team came through. They're great. I can't help but to say it, they're great, man.
What kind of time and energy went into this? How long have you been getting ready for this?
This team practices 5 days a week for 2 hours each day, and we have such a good time doing it that it's not even work. Nobody tells us to be there at 3:30. We do it because we love it and because we love each other. That's really the reason.
What do you feel like right now?
Oh, shit. I feel great. We're the best team in the world, man, and there's no one can take that away from us.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Guido Adams, Jim Herrick.
You know you guys just lost a very, very tough match, but if you could talk a little bit about what the game was like.
Our offense worked against their defense. They weren't stopping us. We stopped ourselves a lot. Some bad plays, but one point. What can you say?
It all came down to that last play. You were there. What happened? What went on through your mind?
I don't know. I saw Leif.
I was about to trample you.
I just backpedaled because I knew I wasn't in the end zone. And as he threw it, I was backing up, and I just jumped back to get over the line. And I went. Blah, blah, blah.
When I thought about putting together this little video for you today, it occurred to me that it's almost exactly 40 years since that first intercollegiate game between Rutgers and Princeton. And that seems unbelievable. When I think back on it, one of the things that I think might be surprising in terms of your topic of discussion today is that we had a referee. We had Dave Lawant dressed up like a zebra with a little whistle in his mouth, running around making the calls and pretending that it was an NFL game or something. So we didn't really have a blueprint. It isn't like we had a plan or an agenda that we wanted to build a particular kind of game. The key was, I think, in my mind, and a key that continues, is that we were building a game that was intended to be the exactly right thing for the people who were playing then. And I hope that'll continue to be the guideline. I believe that there is a lot to be said for playing under spirit of the game. I think it provides an opportunity and challenges that are unique and extremely beneficial. That said, I can also understand other situations where we might want to create versions of Ultimate that simulate other big-time sports that have all the trappings of the NFL or the NBA or anything at that level. I understand that, and that would be a fit with the people who want to play it. The fact of the matter is that I think the diversity of offering is one of the things that sets us apart and makes Ultimate so special. I happened upon the Layout Beach Championship here in the spring, and I was just astounded walking on the Santa Monica beach and seeing the thousands of people playing Ultimate in the sand. I couldn't believe it. Similarly, I've been to the championships in Sarasota and seen the level of competitive spirit and unbelievable quality of play that championship brings together. It's all amazing to me. And likewise, there's an Ultimate pickup game that happens every Sunday morning down here at the park right below my house. So there's nothing like it, really, in my mind. It's definitely the most intriguing game that I've ever had the good fortune to be involved in. And so my hope for the future is just what I've said about the past. I hope the game continues to be a good fit for the people who are playing it now. And that's all there is. So I hope that for your future, and I hope that someplace, sometime, we'll get a chance to throw a couple back and forth, and maybe even play some Ultimate. I'm not past that yet.